Good morning, everybody. It's Cowboy. It is 8:31 EST, and we are getting started with our day. There will be no recorded show today. At least I don't think. I have some things I have to handle today, so that might not happen. But today, of course, there is this, and you can always catch this after the fact on YouTube, Rumble, X, wherever. So this is the live lab. Ask questions if you got them. Todd, Marinan to you. Marinan, March, good to have you in. Yep. Just looking at Bitcoin. What I'm looking at right now actually looks like something that I drew would happen ahead of time. I did predict that we would see kind of a consolidation below this prior little bit of a high right here, right? And a little bit of also kind of an important point here in past price action, right? So you guess this could be sort of a midpoint in a prior range. It's kind of what that looks like. But I would, just by looking at this right now on the 3-hour chart, I think we're going to see a breakout. Let me take a quick look at the algos. Let's see, we're on the 3-hour here. Okay, I mean, bullish. That's definitely for sure. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I think we're gonna see probably a breakout. So let me break this down for you a little bit. I'm gonna go to the 30-minute chart, and what we're looking at is this is basically a bullish ascending triangle, more or less, right? You have price headed up, hits a little bit of resistance, pop down, and then you have this consolidation below that same resistance, forming what is basically a bullish ascending triangle, and that is a bullish formation that tends to end in a breakout. Okay, so basically something like this is what we're looking at. Now with this, it just seems to me that the retracement may be over at this point. With the price coming up like this and hanging out right there, not looking like it wants to come down, I would venture to guess that in the next few hours, we'll see a breakout. We do have in 1.5 hours, excuse me, the what do you call it? We have the consumer confidence data coming out. Looks like I need to share my screen. Thank you for the reminder. Let's see here. Okay. So let me manipulate this to make it look a little more visible. Okay, so this is that bullish ascending triangle. So price broke out to the upside, and you have some just some resistance right here. It seems to have run into at about 71,000. And the real number I'm looking at is a little bit higher, but that's fine. So this area where price is bumping its head over and over, and yet we're having higher lows, right? So price keeps heading up here, and I'll draw some arrows where it has bumped its head a few times. Basically there, here, there, and almost again here, right? And yet you have all these lows that are progressively getting higher. So what that means is that the bulls are getting stronger. The bears are holding ground, but as long as the bulls continue to get stronger, the likelihood of them eclipsing the bears in strength is high, right? So let me zoom in a little bit, help you all see the numbers a little bit better, okay? And the way this would break out, just based on the math, just like if I were to take this trade of its own merits, right? This triangle formation, I think it's not that clean, to be honest. But if I were just to kind of look for a breakout, take a trade that looks like this, maybe something like that. My targets would be at 72,170. So like here, and maybe here, like 71640. And then I'd have a stop loss that would be something like that. So it would be a little, I mean, it's not a scalp, that's on the 30-minute. So it would be a day trade. Not a bad day trade though if this were truly to break out. One could enter the trade now, but the problem is that you might have to deal with some pullbacks. So if you enter the trade now, and again, this is not investment advice, but price, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it should continue up. However, it hasn't broken out yet, and there's always that chance that this might be a fake out, and then it actually breaks downward and takes you out. It's a higher risk trade, right? So, and I'm not seeing all that great a risk to reward on this trade right now. 2.2 to 1 is not bad, but I would wait for the breakout. I would not jump into this ceiling. Just not how I roll. I don't like to trade into resistances unless the algos are extremely specific, and they're getting there. Either way, I do expect a breakout. Even if this fails, I would expect price to come back down, grab liquidity, and break out. Right, that can happen, but most likely I expect to break out and to kind of come up to the middle of this sort of range bound up there. So push to all-time high next couple of days, quite possible, that's for sure. Yeah, Lisa, you're not kidding. More coffee. A lot going on right now, right? So it's up pretty late. All right, well, that's Bitcoin as a whole. Again, I do see if I were to actually do a kind of a little bit higher time frame of a situation here, like a fib extension, given that we actually see a breakout, because we did see essentially a 382 pullback on this. So if I were to map this impulse, right, this market kind of strong move up, and then attach a Fibonacci extension to that, then we would have, again, this kind of 72,000-ish target, which matches that triangle's metrics target, plus the next target would be right here at this at the all-time high. So there's a decent chance we see all-time high whenever this breaks out, right? It might just go straight up, might not, might play around, might do a lot of things, but the probability of that all-time high in the next, well, let's see, how long did this take? Let's see. Let's just do a quick look on date range. So yeah, it could happen within a day. If the breakout happened, right? If it didn't play around, do a bunch of stuff, if the breakout happened, then within a day, very likely we see all-time high again. Just the algos are there for it. It's looking strong. It's just all there is to it. Okay, good. So let's move on. By the way, we had a great show on yesterday. One of our clients had a kind of a formative algo, was looking to maximize, really, right? Wanted to get as much out of his algo as he could. So I took a look at it, and we were able to actually simplify it rather than have this algo going over multiple time frames. We had the algo all on one page, and it seemed very promising. He's going to take that, and he is going to go ahead and see if he can backtest that, get some real numbers on it. All right, still looking at this this fib. It did actually come down and grab the 618. So we drew this fib extension, a few days ago, and it was based on this impulse, this big move up. So we attached a Fibonacci extension to that big move up. We saw a pullback, and it almost went to the 618. There was some liquidity down here at the 618, and it looks like that got front ran, which is a very bullish thing. So what happens in the bull market, okay, is that people have their entries they want. People like, oh, well, I want to get in here. They think price is going to go to a certain level, and then they set their orders. Well, a lot of people are going to think the same way. So if price doesn't quite make it down there, that can happen because everybody is looking at, say, 29.50. And because the smart money knows everybody's looking at 29.50, then they all buy instead at 3,000 or 30.50 or something like that. And that appears to be what happened here. And that would be a pretty bullish indication on Ethereum. Now, that's on the daily chart. I know March loves to hear about when Ethereum is bullish. And I would say right now, Ethereum is pretty bullish. It looks like it's resetting on the higher time frame, which is fine. Yeah, I would say Ethereum's overall pretty bullish right now. I think it's going to continue up, especially if Bitcoin pushes up. If Bitcoin makes that breakout that we were talking about, then I would say Ethereum reapproaches 41. 4100. So very possibly see that again. Going to be highly dependent on Bitcoin, right? That's what we're looking at. Okay, so let's look at Solana. Saw an interesting opinion on Solana. Okay, Solana looking a little bit stronger than Ethereum. It's definitely pushing up harder. I mean, if you just look at the two charts, just by price action alone. Now, I would have to do some math to say that is actually true. Just because a chart looks stronger doesn't mean that it is. But in this case, it does look like Solana is building a range that I did talk about. A hypothetical range is becoming less and less hypothetical and more reality by the day here. So it does look as if Solana is building a range in this area. Now, again, just like most cryptos that are strong, Solana's breakout here is probably going to be dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin breaks out, Solana breaks out. It's going to pull it up. And we have Solana's all-time high sitting at 210. Or no, that's not an all-time high, but a local high at 210. All-time high is at 260. So if I were to go ahead and look at some upper targets, I'm going to, again, use the Fibonacci extension tool. I'm going to attach it to this market impulse, right? So the big move that happened, and then the retracement did pull back to a 618. So a perfect 618. It didn't quite make it down to liquidity where I would have looked for an entry. It actually and again, that is a front run. And I get the feeling that this has to do with Bitcoin. The fact that price didn't quite make it down to liquidity. It could also be that things are just so bullish, like we talked about with Ethereum, where everybody was looking at, 155. And so everybody, the smart money, bought above 160. All right. And so that tells me that let me look at the algos. Okay. So far looking pretty bullish. Solana's bullish. So I would expect to see the following. And this is in the next, month, maybe even like the next few weeks, or let's just say, by early April, I would expect Solana to be getting up to its all-time highs, like by early mid-April. We may have already seen the pullback, right? We saw Bitcoin pull back about 17%, and we established that the pre-halving pullbacks tend to be 20 to 30%. So we probably saw again where everybody was looking at 20% pull back to 17. Smart money probably got in early, front ran everybody else looking at 20. This is just how it works in hyper bullish scenario. So I would expect the Solana scenario to again be dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin breaks out, Solana breaks out, and we're looking at something like this, right? Could happen a little more slowly than that. It's just, again, it depends on Bitcoin, right? But these breakouts tend to be like this. So we could see all of this happen before the end of the month, very possibly. The trajectory is kind of matching the prior, so I would expect early April, late March, 255 Solana, right? Remember, all-time high, I believe, is 260. So there may be some resistance there. It could just blow through it. Again, all very dependent on Bitcoin. If not, then we're looking at ranging until it does. That's what I think is the most likely couple of scenarios on Solana. Not seeing any requests from the audience. Let's take a look here. We got we got a good amount of people watching on YouTube. Please go ahead, like this and subscribe. We're giving away free alpha here, right? We're giving away for free what I think is going to happen with the major cryptos. And V the Gorilla is usually on here doing that with us, but I think he is on some calls overseas right now, right? But we are giving away free alpha. So why would you not want to watch this? I would definitely be sharing this with my friends. It's like, hey, this guy is consistently calling what's going to happen with price. And if you can predict the future of price, then you can make money, right? Thank you, Jam Man. Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up. All right, cool. So let's take a look at AVAX. AVAX again running very parallel, similar to Solana, and again AVAX is a similar thing. It's it's its own ecosystem. It's running very similar to Solana, and same scenario. Now AVAX's all-time high might be already eclipsed. Let's take a look at that real quick on the high time frame. No, it's not. Okay, so we got a ways to go. It looks like AVAX all-time high is actually a bit farther away. Solana's just been running a lot harder. Now, AVAX does have an old range area, right? It has some price action with which price must contend. And that is right about here. You're seeing this area. So before AVAX runs up, it's going to have to make it through this, let's see here, 65 to 100. That's an area that we're going to have to look at. So what does that look like up close? Let's take a look. Okay. And this will be the 3-hour chart. Do I think it's going to break out right now? Let's see what the algos say. I think it's weekly bullish. Weekly WEAKLY. I think that I think it needs more steam, but I think Bitcoin could give it that steam. So yet another coin, as they all pretty much are, dependent on Bitcoin for the breakout. Right now, when it does break out, it has this historical range. So if it can break into this, say 66, 65 range, if it can stay above that on the daily for like a day, then I'd be interested in taking a long right there, just a long like this. Price makes it up. Could play inside of this area. Yeah, could take a long. But I think once AVAX breaks into here, then I would be interested in a long like this. Now, that long might take some time, but I would look to enter something like here. That would be a trade I would like to take. That's a beautiful trade. Now the stop loss might, look a little different than that, but you're looking at anywhere from a 3-to-1 to a 4-to-1, depending on how you set your stops. And I'm pretty sure that stop could be relatively tight. Again, algos will help to determine that, but I think a 4-to-1 here is pretty reasonable in this area. Could easily see a nice move right here. And again, that's going to happen, I think, with Bitcoin breaking out, new all-time highs. It could happen. This could happen today. Like I drew it as if it were happening in like a week, or I should say really 4 or 5 days, but this could happen today. Very possible. It's free alpha, right? Free trade right there. Everybody to see. So okay. Let's get some requests from the audience. We got time for 1 or 2 more charts, and the audience has just been along for the ride, which is fine. But I'm kind of surprised you don't have coins you want to see. So let's, of course, in the private live lab, we tend to get more people asking for coins. I will take a look at BOEM. I did a good show on BOEM. And one of my price action predictions happened just as I charted it, which is great because I know a lot of people were happy with that. The BOEM video is pretty popular. A lot of people saw that on YouTube, the video I made. So it's being as popular as it is. I can tell you BOEM doesn't have a lot of price action history just looking at it, right? So I don't have, I can't look at the algos as much and say, hey, this is going to happen, right? Look, BOEM is consolidating, right? It's just almost like a triangular consolidation, really. Price discovery, right? Obviously price discovery in the purest sense is going to be above the all-time high, which is above 3 cents. But This is a very new coin. So it's actually kind of that 3 cent look might have just been the exchange jitters, right? And now price is making an equilibrium. Now, when price makes an equilibrium, there's a decent chance in a very bullish market that price will break upwards. I think that this will have a lot to do with where the meme coin market is at that time, but we are in an area where price may have to make a decision. It really depends. Is money going to flow out of the meme coin market, right? Still a lot of action in meme coins right now. So if the Bitcoin breaks out, then we might see profits taken, right? And money back into meme coins. Boom may go up at that time. We'll see about it. I don't see anything in the charts that's giving me the best clues. I mean, it's bullish. I do see that it is slightly bullish. But it's just the volatility is really dropping off right here. So now, when volatility drops off in a bull market, usually price stays in that same area and then runs up. March wants to see Ondo. Oh, to leave you with Bohm, if I were not trying to say like hold it and try to make a bunch of money on a meme coin, right? If I were trying to actually trade this, I would be looking at some of these prior highs that it made right here. So like 15 or 1.5 cents, 1.7 cents, 1.9 cents. I would get out before those. If I was trying to like trade this and make some money, that's how I would roll. Ondo. Okay, Ondo over on MexC. Doing well, obviously. Let's look at the broader picture here. It might be ready for a little bit of a pullback, maybe. Either a pullback or just like a just a consolidation, one of the two. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna mark a like an indication here. I'm gonna use my new algo, see if we can call a move up. Let's see here. Oh, we got to take this one out and add FX version 5. Give me a second. Got to put the new version of the indicator on the chart. Yeah. Okay, so go along. So if H18 we'll save this. Okay, so now let's just say that happens, right? Let's look at the price action history for Ergo. Looks like it did like a 382 on the way up here. 382 pullback. So let me go to a higher time frame. This is messy. Messy. Is that the 18-hour? Yeah, let's go there. Okay. So we did a 382 pullback up to the 272. So if price were to continue up, like if it just caught a bid right now, then I would look for price to go to $1.10, right? But if it didn't catch a bid and we see a pullback, then what I'd be looking for is I would actually look for two targets, right? If we see a pullback a little bit further, I mean, we'd have to go down from say 90 cents to about 88 and a half or 88 and a half cents, right in there. I would look at maybe $1.07, right? But if it continues up, I'd be looking at $1.10. This is all based on fib extensions. And then if price made that 382 pullback, then I'd also look at $1.18. So with a 382, it'd be $1.07, $1.18. Without a 382, I'd be looking at $1.10. Those would be the targets on Ondo. Good. And we got time for Filecoin. Okay, it looks like I need to back out a little bit. Yeah, Filecoin is an older coin. It's a lot more older price action to watch on this. We had Filecoin break out of its trough and kind of back into the trough here. This trough, this old bear market trough right there, and it broke out, and then it kind of came back down over the last couple of weeks. Actually, it mellowed out, but it's still looking pretty strong. So I would expect, look, Filecoin's gonna, when it does move up, and again, Bitcoin dependent, it's probably gonna do almost like a ×2. Like it's gonna go from 9.2 to about 16, almost 17 cents, right? And it'd probably do it pretty quickly. Again, that's going to be based on a Bitcoin breakout, so we might have to wait for all the halving jitters to go away. Going to have to wait for Bitcoin to do its breakout, right? All-time high breakout. Whatever pullbacks are going to happen before the halving or after the halving need to be complete. And then I think Filecoin is going to go to about maybe, like say, 16, 17 cents, and then it'll probably break into this range, which is going to be again 16.5 up to 26. So the kind of trades I would take on this would be looking for that Bitcoin breakout. And I would actually, okay, so with this current scenario with Filecoin, if I were just going to kind of try to take along, I'd look for price to break this high that it made. Right? That would be a safer trade. But as long as price really just broke above here, grab some liquidity and look strong, I would actually be, and again, with Bitcoin being strong in that scenario, I would be actually okay not waiting for price to break this high right there and just taking a nice long like right here. It may be above this, whatever next little bit it creates. If it breaks above that, I'll be looking at a trade like this, right? So I would try to play this range in here, this kind of area between the bear market high and then the on the way down prior lows, right? I would try to play this. And then once that gets broken, I would try to play up in here. And of course, this is on like the weekly chart. So you're looking at some pretty high time frame trades. There's probably gonna be a bunch of trades and kind of mini ranges and stuff to play on the inside as well. So not just playing these kind of upper ranges. So, all right, good. We are now at the end of the live lab. So thank you all for joining. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Algo Factory. We do this every weekday, practically. I almost didn't do it today because I got to do my taxes today, but I figured I'd come, I would do the live show, and then I just would muscle through the taxes. So it's fine. But yeah, please subscribe. Free alpha. So many free trades given away today. It's insane. Right. Yeah, that's going to be it. We help people, right? We help you learn how to do this stuff. This stuff that I did building these trades. Now I do it for another hour, 5 days a week. I'm in there with the gorilla and we just do the same thing. We also have the gorilla talk about high level intel that he gets because he's pretty high up in the over-the-counter gold and Bitcoin business, doing deals all around the world. And those of you who are already involved in there know what I'm talking about. We get a lot of high level stuff going on. And what's going to happen in the crypto market has been prognosticated by the gorilla looking at his data and usually corroborated by myself looking at mine. So if you're not in Algo Factory, it's like $49.99 a month. It's nothing. We teach you how to build a trading plan. And not only can you understand what's probably going to happen in the market in the future, so you know which way the wind is blowing, but also you can extract money in the meantime. You can do it. Maybe some people do it every day. Some people do it a few times a week. Some people do it a few times a month. And it's an awesome program. Our our pricing is so cheap. You will either join us
or die.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.